Hi there, it's Kevin from RogueDeckBuilder.com here with a new brew, Black-White Tokens. I know it's not Orzhov season yet. They have to wait till February to have our, what is it called? Godless Shrine? Yeah, that's the one. But I thought I'd brew around with Black-White Tokens. This is one of my favorite decks back in the old standard before rotation. And originally, someone asked me to build a Pack Rat deck. And so I thought, Pack Rat, Intangible Virtue, Tokens, it might work. But I've completely cut the Pack Rats. I'm sorry, I cannot make that card work no matter how hard I try. I think the best route for maybe a Pack Rat deck would be to go maybe a discard heavy deck with like Liliana and both Lilianas and just kind of a mono black control type thing. But it's just, I've tried and tried and tried to fit Pack Rat in here, but he's just not a good card right now with all the pillars running around and Supreme Verdicts. Not a very resilient card. Discarding a card in draft a lot of times is worth it because you have a lot of useless cards, but in standard all of your cards are pretty powerful. A lot more powerful than say a 2/2 rat a lot of times. So I did cut the Pack Rats. I'm sorry to those that requested the deck. I just could not make it work. Anyhow, but I did have fun with this. It's more of a vampire token build, and it's actually working out pretty well. So far I'm 1-0 in the tournament in the standard daily, and in the two-man queues I was dinking around with ended up going 3-2. Has a very good matchup against zombies and some of the other aggro decks, and it can actually outrace zombies a lot of the times, and especially if you hit your own Blood Artist, it's not worth for them to trade into your tokens. And yeah, both the matchups, I went 2-0 both times, so 4-0 versus zombies. Pretty easy matchup. I don't see how it would be bad. We can just, like I said, outpace them and stick with them on the life, especially post sideboard when the Vampire Nighthawks come in. Anyhow, enough rambling. I'll go over the deck list here. So, Vault of the Archangel for our colorless land here. I am running 2 of them. I could see a point to 3 to 4, but without our Godless Shrines, I'm only sticking to 2 Vault of the Archangels. I have included Caverns as well because you might as well. The only thing you need a double black for is your Vampire Nighthawks and your Bloodline Keeper, and they're both vampires, so it works for the double black. Other than that, you just need a single white in this deck to make it work. Okay, so another thing, I only have 2 Sorens right now, and I'm too cheap to buy one at 20 tickets, or it's like 24 tickets for a freaking Soren, so I decided not to purchase one at the moment. I think Soren will go eventually down when that dual deck comes out. The dual deck's only 20 bucks a piece, and it has a foil Soren in it, so I'm expecting Soren's value to drop. I think that's coming out in January. You have to correct me if I'm wrong. I'll have to look it up. It's the Soren versus T-Bolt dual deck. So anyway, not going to invest in those at the moment, but I probably would run 3 Sorens, not 2. So again, this is centered on Intangible Virtue, but it's also got some other tricks in here. So of course, if we're going tokens, we have the usual suspects of Lingering Souls and Midnight Haunting, and also Gather the Townsfolk. So those are basically my token generators right there. Once again, on the land base too, Evolving Wilds is in replace of Godless Shrine. We do need that diversity in lands. We need both a black and a white for this to run smoothly, and unfortunately we only have the 4 isolated chapels right now to help us with our mana fixing. So we're forced to play Evolving Wilds, even though it gives Deathrite Shamans the ammo they need to ramp, which kind of sucks, but you know, it is what it is. We have to use them. For removal, I'm using a 5 package of 1 Ultimate Price, 2 Tragic Slips, and 2 Sever the Bloodlines. In fact, I could go up more Tragic Slips. I might do that. I might cut a Ultimate Price and just go Tragic Slip, because we are a Morbid deck. We do like to trigger our Morbid, and that is why I'm including the Bloodthorn Vampires in here as just a Morbid trigger, so that we can use our Blood Artist and our Skirstack High Priest. This card is extremely underrated right now against a lot of deck without any sort of spot removal. This card alone can take over games before they can deal with it. there is a lot. Terminus is still big, so is Supreme Verdict, but this deck does have a lot of resilience that they can wipe your board and you can come back with casting like a Lingering Souls, Flashback, and a Scare Stack High Priest, and you're back in the game because next turn you can pump out a 5/5 Black Demon token. A lot of times they don't want to attack into you when you got this guy because they know that you'll be able to get a 5/5 out of the trade. And as you'll see in my first game versus Junk Tokens in the round 1 of the Standard Daily, this dude wins me second game single-handedly. So 3 Bloodthorn Vampires. I might think about going up to 4. I don't know. He's actually really good with the tokens too if you need to swing in for the win, say. I mean, getting +2/+2 is not bad for sacking a Gather the Townsfolk dude. So I could see the argument for splashing red as well, but again, I'd wait till Godless Shrine so it helps fix your mana base rather than investing too much in red. I really do like the red. Next, when Gate Crash comes out, I'm looking forward to running this and Rally the Peasants, and also Hellrider I think would be amazing cards for this deck. But until then, I'm going to stick to black-white. I don't think it's worth messing up our mana base to try to fit in red, especially a double red card like Hellrider. Or, yeah, I could see the point of Falconwrath Aristocrat taking over the Bloodthorn Vampire. But anyway, that's the gist of the deck. It works pretty well so far. Let's go down the sideboard. I've got 4 of Appetite for Brains to take out their Angels, both Resto and God, the other one. 7 mana one. Wow, brain fart. And then got Rootborn Defenses. I've been testing this card out for anti-Supreme Verdict, anti-Bonfire, anti-Mizium Mortars. Don't know how I feel about it so far, but the populate's not that great, just populating 1/1 Spirit, but it's decent. And sideboard, we got our anti-aggro with more Vampire Nighthawks in the sideboard. Got our anti-control with Underworld Connections. Might want to go up to 3, I don't know. And our anti-Reanimator. Reanimator is everywhere. I swear every other deck is either Red Deck Wins or Reanimator. So those are the 2 decks that you should be siding for. I don't know what is the craze about Red Deck Wins. I guess it does have some decent matchups versus a lot of different things. And I want to hug all the Red Deck Wins players out there because they keep a lot of these crazy builds from becoming successful. Like I just faced a deck that had 4 Gilded Lotus, and their whole 2 kill conditions in their entire deck was just the Devil's Play, and they just try to control until they get a gazillion Gilded Lotus out and hit you in the face. Red Deck Wins will weed those out forever. There's no way they can compete with Red Deck Wins or, say, Zombies. So thank you if you're one of those people that run Zombies in Red Deck Wins. You make my decks possible. Anywho, so I think I've gone over everything, right? Yeah. So I'll post game 1 shortly here. This is the deck tech for black-white tokens. This is Kevin from RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.